Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is in our Great Engine Middlegames series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and we're continuing our look at the Blitz match between Torch and AlphaZero, the CCCC 21 Blitz Challenger match. And we are looking this time at, well, kind of a massive opposite side attack. And Torch is white, Leela is black. Let's see how it proceeded. So this came out from some sort of offbeat Owen's defence, and well, Leela had played quite aggressively, casting queenside and then throwing the pawns forward. But well, things are quite loose somehow. I mean, this D pawn is a bit loose. Yeah, we've got the rooks on the A and B file. We've got A5 coming in. Yeah, feels like white's going to create some danger. What black does have though is this idea of G4. Just to, well, both open up the G file and the A8H1 diagonal. So black isn't without chances. So how does this happen? Well, white started with bishop takes C6, bishop takes C6 and A5. So just getting rid of the knight in order to be able to start attacking this pawn. Quite a responsible decision really, because well, you know, black's counterplay is going to be on the light square. So giving up the two bishops, the light squared bishop, just like that is, yeah, quite an important decision. But of course, yeah, it's all about speed really. And yeah, if A takes B6 comes in, we're really seeing a lot of danger. So black Leela played B5, and now C4. This is the key idea, just attacking that pawn on the B file. Now black's not going to take that pawn because then the queen gets into play and the B file gets opened. Black is just going to allow white to take that pawn, makes a big pawn roller, but on the other hand, yeah, the B file is still blocked, still hard for white to get some open files. And whilst white is trying to open that, black's going to be opening the queen side with G4. F takes G4 played. And rook HG8. So Leela just looking to open that G file, combine with a bishop against G2, and yeah, I mean there's quite a lot of danger there. I mean, another idea is also just to take with the F pawn on G4, and then you're threatening to take on H3, and if the knight moves away, then you've got knight F4. So quite a few possibilities there for white. Now, quite interesting to see what Torch did, and also what Dragon suggests. Dragon actually suggested this move, G5, which is quite interesting, quite a human move actually. Just block up the G file, and then actually afterwards blocking up the D file with D5 and C takes B5, and somehow with those two moves you've managed to block temporarily, at the very least, you know, both avenues of attack for black, and that, yeah, sort of gives you a good feeling about the ensuing stuff. How you're going to be following up with B6 and trying to open up the queen side in that way. But Torch showed no fear, played the move D5. Just looking to block the light square bishop, and Leela reacted with F takes G4. So this is getting really sharp now. But there's a key move here that the engines play that easy to miss for white, and kind of counterintuitive, but it just has to be done. The point is, if you take on C6 now, then G takes H3, G3. This looks fairly obvious. Doesn't look too bad for white. But there's the unexpected rook takes G3 check. Takes, knight takes, queen F2 and queen G7. So we're threatening knight E4 check. King H2, knight E4 anyway. And it's just a little bit tricky here for white to cover the king side. We've got threats of queen E5 check as well. And also we've got to cover G2 and G3 as well. So bishop B2, queen G4 was the main engine game. This was Stockfish against Dragon. And after rook G1, knight F2 takes check, king H3, rook G8, C takes B5. Still looks really threatening, but black can just set up this little perpetual check approach, because if you go king G3, we've got this lovely idea A6. And the point is that if you go B takes A6, I've got knight E5 check, and I'm going to just breaking up your pawns and covering that. And if you go C4, then I go knight E3 check, and knight takes C4, and then I'm looking to play A takes B5 after. Actually, there was quite a nice sharp little line here. B takes a6, knight takes b2. That's a little bit risky. Something like king c7 would be better. But then you've got this move rook g1, and if you go rook f8, you go rook f1, and you can't actually take this rook because of a7 and the pawn and queens. But yeah, anyway, I mean, you can see that the d takes c6 is really, really dangerous for white. But instead of d takes c6, the engines were playing rook f1. And after queen e8, well, actually, again, kind of an interesting, maybe humanish move. Again, knight g5. I think this was Stockfish's idea. No, it was Dragon's idea again. Just sacrificing the knight like that, just to make sure that the g file stays closed, and then you take on c6, and then you claim, well, I'm opening up the position in front of the black king. I mean, if you take on c6, I've also got queen e6 check as well. So this is just going to be a nice safe advantage for white, and that's definitely true. But what Torch did again, a little bit more risky. D takes c6, g takes h3, and now rook f2. And this is why you need to play this move rook f1. Rook f2, just to be able to defend the g2 pawn. And it feels counterintuitive that you're bringing a rook away from the attack, away from the b file that's supposed to be opened, just in order to defend g2. But okay, that's just life. I mean, that's just what you have to do sometimes. Your contention really is that the pawns that you've got on the queen side will be dangerous enough. And here, quite an interesting moment. I mean, I was wondering about this move knight f4, and after queen e4, I go rook takes g2, takes, and knight takes g2. And I thought, well, rather than getting a pawn on g2 as we do in the game, get a knight on g2, and then you'll be able to well, maybe invade on the g file. And it's got some nice points to it. I mean, after cb5. The engines point out this move, knight f4. And I wonder, this might be worth, stopping the video here if you want to try a tactical puzzle and see, well, what is the refutation to queen f4? Because it's far from obvious. Well, refutation not quite, but how can black achieve the balance? It's this gorgeous idea, queen g8 check, queen g3 only move to stop queen g2. And now this move queen h8, I'm hitting a1, and I'm also threatening rook g8, pinning the queen to the king. Really gorgeous. I don't think I've seen a tactic like that before. And well, it's still quite dangerous for black because these pawns are running. But just in time, black can get a perpetual here with queen h5 and then queen e2 afterwards. But that is actually, knight f4 is actually quite dangerous, but actually white just sidesteps with king g1. You're threatening queen f4, you'll have rook g1 to cover the g2 square, and then b6 will come in, and that's going to be rather painful. So knight f4 not good, but yeah, definitely a challenge. But rook takes g2 check was played by Leela. Takes, and then hg. Yeah, if you try knight f4 here, then queen f2 is quite dangerous, hitting that one and also hitting that one as well. So h takes g2, and then c takes b5. And got to say, these pawn structures, I mean, I was playing through the game quickly. I just saw this one. I thought, oh, I have to have a look at this one. This one looks quite fun. So knight f4 played, queen e3. So covering the h3 square against knight h3. And attacking the knight on f4, of course, as well as hitting that pawn on a7. So queen h8 was played by Leela, sort of hitting this rook on a1, rook d1, and now another gorgeous little move, queen c3. So the idea is that if takes, we go check, and we go knight c3, and we're forking these two, and we're going to basically break up the white queenside pawns. Really gorgeous shot, this one. Imagine playing that in a bullet game. But Torch took on f4, queen a3, and now c4, and I'd say quite an extraordinary queenside pawn structure against a black king. I haven't seen that one too often. Yeah, I mean, the big problem is here for black is that, well, obviously these pawns threatening to march through. We've also got ideas just like queen f7, just to deliver mate on b7. So kind of tricky here. Leela played d5, and then queen e5. That's a nice little creeping move. I like these, always ascribed to Karpov, little moves like this that aren't dramatic or anything, but they just creep closer to the opponent's position. This one threatens queen takes c6. So queen c5 and then rook d4. Self-pinning, but, well, d takes c4 allows queen c5. And, well, there's not that much that black can do because of this gorgeous centralized queen. I mean, it's pinning the black king to the c8 square, and it's also stopping stuff like rook g8 because of queen e6. So rook e8 played, king g2, queen b4, and then queen g7. And that was what I was talking about, this 7th rank threat with queen b7 check. So a few checks were given, and we do a little Richard Teichmann-esque king march right up to the opponent's position. But I mean, you'll just keep on going, right? I mean, h5 check, we'll just take it. I mean, you know, you haven't got enough checks at all there. So rook e7 was played. Queen takes h6. I'm terribly sorry. Queen h6. Torch not really messing about, just taking an extra pawn. Queen c5, queen check, queen e5 check, king c8, and now c takes d5, takes. I mean, it's quite nice. I liked how Torch played this with a king on g4, and you know, there are a few pieces, positions quite open, but it's just not really possible. And we come all the way up to g6, and here Torch didn't, rather Leela didn't find anything better than queen takes d5 and rook h2. But after b6, I'm afraid this one is not going to work. And well, let's just see how that finished off. Check, a6, rook d4, rook c2, rook d1, rook b2, c7, and king d7. And well, there was no way of stopping c8 queen. Rook c2, of course. We can go rook b1 and then c8 queen. Or even, probably even more precise there, to avoid any possible stalemate tricks, is c8 queen, rook c8, and then rook b1 check. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that one. I thought it was a stunning little game, and yeah, you know, just the way that that Torch played it, just you know, those pawns just kept on coming through, and you know, the counterplay from Leela pretty dangerous, but yeah, somehow White was always a step ahead. Just yeah, I enjoy these engine games. I mean, it's just totally crazy stuff, and some of the variations that you see you know, in the notes are just incredible, of course. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, why not give a like, subscribe to the channel, boost my numbers, and otherwise take a look at my new books. Remember that Forward Chess, they've made me the author of the month for August, and that's still going on. I think they start half August and go until middle of September, so still got time. Something like $5 off each book, which is pretty good, and they're already quite a bit cheaper on Forward Chess than in paperback. So yeah, definitely worth having a look at that. I'm sure if you love this channel, I'm sure you'll love those books too. And otherwise, you know, thanks very much for watching, for being part of the channel, for all the comments that you leave as well. And, well, hope to see you at the next videos. Thanks for watching.